Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Smalland: Survive the Wilds. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about $25. There is a 25% sale going on until July 27th, so if you like what you see here, you can get the game for a little cheaper. I have to stress early access. That means everything that you're about to see here is most definitely subject to change. I'm going to be making a lot of comparisons to Grounded, which is another survival game that is somewhat similar to this in the sense that you are sort of shrunk down to bite-sized proportions and trying to survive in an environment. Only in Grounded's case, it was like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids scenario. There was a nefarious, evil person behind the whole thing. Here, you're actually part of this tribe. I don't know exactly what kind of race I am, but you'll be able to create your character when you first start a new game, but typically you'll have help as you go around the environment, grassy areas, meeting various NPCs, so it's slightly different in theme. When you do create a server, you can password protect it if you want to, you can make it private, you can set creature health, creature damage, nourishment loss, fall damage, day cycle, season cycle, keep inventory on death. So all of these things are great. I love that. I'm so glad that there is customization options here so that I can fine-tune the difficulty how I see fit. That's one of the biggest things I look for in a survival game like this, and I'm very glad that this game doesn't disappoint. One of the first things I noticed when I first started playing was that there's like this X-ray vision mode, you know how like in Batman, third-person action game where you're beating up criminals, you've got that like criminal X-ray vision thing. Well, you've got a similar thing here, and you'll be able to see resources around you. You'll be able to identify creatures and what they're weak against. There's a lot of like rock, paper, scissors in this game where this creature is susceptible to edge damage, so like swords or whatnot. Some creatures are susceptible to like, blunt or whatever. So you kind of have to like scan these creatures in your X-ray mode and then determine how best to deal with them. But if your settings are lax, then you don't have to worry about that. One of the first things I did was just create a little outpost in a nice little area. I made sure it was like next to mushrooms that I could cut down and get some food. Yes, you have to worry about food in this game, although food in this game doesn't have the same effect as other survival games, which is weird. It's just there for nourishment. That's it. This food, no matter what you eat, all food has the same effect. There's no like special bonus if you eat this kind of food or special bonus if you eat that kind of food. It's just, just stock up on whatever food is around you and eat it as your nourishment gets low. I hope at some point in the future they do expand upon the whole food system. I mean, Valheim had that whole eat 3 different kinds of food to get your max health up. That was cool. Once I got my fiance in here, we were playing co-op for a little bit, and it was fun. The creatures did scale based on, the extra person, but the game did say that more resources would be available to us because of that. I think we really enjoyed just sort of exploring the environment and seeing all the creatures that we could find. Oh, there's a bee over there, or oh, there's a roach or whatever it is. It's just, there's always something new around the corner, and that was fun. Combat was a little iffy for me. I was constantly running out of stamina, which sucked. I guess the better the weapon you equip, just the worse it gets. After a while, I learned that you can climb to the top of these world trees, as they're called, and you can set your base up there. And you can even, as you find other world trees in the environment, transfer your entire base on top of the world tree to a different world tree, which is kind of cool. So it's a movable base that you can move around. And that's something that is a cool idea in theory, a mobile base. But yes, the world trees are fixed on the map, and it is a static map. It's not randomly generated. So once you know where they are, you know where they are. But in practice, it's a cool idea that, you find these different world trees, you can move your base around the map so you can concentrate on this area. But here's the thing. If your game mode is set to where you keep all your items on death, you will just respawn back at your bed anyway. And even if you log out, you don't log in the same place, you log back in at your spawn point. So one really cheap way to play this game is just go all in, get to your destination, mine a bunch of materials, and instead of going back home the long way, just quit and then come back in, and boom, you're back at your base again with all the resources that you had. I mean, it's kind of cheaty, but that is a thing. I'm not complaining, mind you, as someone that's busy and has a very tight schedule and plays lots of games. I welcome a workaround like that I can just do on my own. Some people may go, well, that's breaking the realism. And yeah, you're right, in a way it is, but just don't do it then. Just make a note not to do it. Or maybe make it like if the developers can make some kind of optional toggle where it's like log out where you last were, or log in based on where you last were, or log in at your spawn point. If there was some kind of toggle like that, I think that would be beneficial, something that the developers might be able to do. Base building is very easy to do. There's plenty of different workstations, like in Grounded. This workstation is dedicated to this. You've got a workbench that you can repair tools at. Eventually you'll get like cauldrons, and yes, you can put chests down. There's also creature taming in this game, and to be fair, I've only played for 7 hours, but we tamed a pair of ladybugs, and they're just like backpacks. Unfortunately, their AI is a bit iffy. Mine kept getting stuck in the environment, and I kept having to run back and collect it again. It was just stuck. And then a grasshopper came and ate mine. So there's that. So unfortunately, yeah. So there are creatures in the environment that are hostile at night. Any passive ones automatically become hostile, like ladybugs that are passive during the day are hostile at night, that kind of thing. So like the creature AI in this game is a bit off. You will encounter various bosses, and again, if you're playing on lax or settings, you can probably take care of these solo if you really wanted to, even with, somewhat limited resources. I don't want to like spoil too much for you, so I'm not going to show you a whole lot of footage of that, but there are like bosses in the environment that you will have to kill, and yes, there are like resources that they drop, kind of like in Grounded. This particular boss drops this, and you need this in order to turn this quest in or whatnot. And again, there's AI issues in this game. One of the bosses got stuck in the water, and I was just able to kill him outright without any sort of, without any sort of fallback. So yeah, all in all, this game is pretty fun. I love the fact that, like in Grounded, you can go around this huge environment and you're like, oh, I love that. There's a gecko over there, and you never know what you're going to run into. And I think that's the biggest draw of this game. And you're going to find resources in different areas. And if you get lost, there is a wiki map online that you can Google real quick and find all the different resources. The build is like a 0.2 or something like that. So this game still has a long way to go. In fact, a recent patch just introduced a leveling system. During this entire footage recording, I didn't have that, unfortunately. So, yeah, I was stuck with just gear. It was like Valheim. It was all gear-based. Well, they recently introduced a level up system where as you level up, you can assign attribute points to strength, dexterity, and like 2 other things, and that will improve your character. But there's still no skill trees and Grounded you could like get these perks that you can, pick between. So I feel like Grounded is still the better game, but this game is very enjoyable. It's a great alternative to Grounded, and I still recommend it regardless. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what else the developers plan to do with this game over time. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take care.